the Kitchen Finks just got binned, and then Bronson was able to play Liliana, killing the last creature on Martin's board, and then he just had a completely dominant board position. So, I mean, again, it's largely draw dependent, but I think Bronson's got an edge as far as decks go. I think Andrew's got the edge as far as experience goes. Here we are, coming into the finals of Grand Prix Lincoln, Nebraska. We're playing Modern today.
Brian David Marshall.
And I'm Jacob Van Lunen.
We're here with GG's Live, and Professional Event Services are our hosts this weekend.
The excellent hosts they've been. Ran a great tournament here this weekend. Yeah. We haven't had any big delays at all. Been pretty smooth.
We're in the finals, and there you see, we've been talking about it. Bronson MAGNON from Florida, playing aggro loam. And he's playing against two-time top 8 competitor, two-time Pro Tour top 8 competitor, Andrew CUNEO. World's 10th place finisher, Andrew CUNEO.
Andrew CUNEO is the one who's
playing Melirapod.
And I mean, he's responsible for the popularity of this deck.
Sure.
He played it at Worlds.
So there we see a Viscera Seer.
Yeah. Andrew at 18 now, playing that Overgrown Tomb untapped. In Urborg, Tomb de Yawgmoth comes down, and Bronson's got an Inquisition on turn 1. Ugh. Now, there are, the pair of Port of Callings, definitely the most dangerous cards in Andrew's hand, but if you take the Kitchen Finks, it really decreases the power level of that Birthing Pod, and Bronson's deck has plenty of ways to kill the Viscera Seer before the Birthing Pod goes down, or in response to the Birthing Pod coming down. This is also just a 2-lander for Andrew, so he's going to naturally need to draw another land. His deck plays plenty of land, and Birds of Paradise, and Wall of Roots, so he shouldn't have too much of an issue doing that, but he also has Noble Hierarch, I believe. So, I believe Bronson's going to end up taking the Kitchen Finks in this spot. The boards don't have that much value. And Kitchen Finks is actually pretty decent against Bronson's deck, just in general. Yeah, Bronson goes ahead and takes the Kitchen Finks. I thought it was a pretty close call. I mean, he knows the deck better than I do, and he clearly thought it was a much closer call than I did also.
So John Cuvier, I never know how to say his name, is actually worked with Bronson on this deck.
Ah.
And he said it's a very good matchup. As far as we were talking about
ladies and gentlemen, we are signing up.
And it looks like Andrew's going to be able to resolve his Birthing Pod here.
Last booster draft of the night. If you'd like to come up and sign up for this last draft.
Andrew taking 3 to contest that Birthing Pod.
Yeah, could not. Bronson couldn't grab it with the Kozilek's Inquisition because it cost 4.
It costs 4.
Pay 3, cost 4.
An interesting card in that way.
There's the Seismic Assault.
And I imagine Bronson's going to go ahead here and pitch that Ghost Quarter and get rid of that Viscera Seer.
I will scry.
Andrew, scrying.
Pushing.
Card on bottom. Doing a Revel Arc. It's a pretty good draw step. It's actually about as good as it gets. End of turn, Andrew can court for 1. But Liliana. Front's going to add 1 to that Liliana. And he wants to discard a card. Discards a life and a 1. He can just get the Life in the Loam back
Sure.
when he finds Grain Source. He can actually have multiple copies of it.
Cord for 0.
Finds himself a Dryad Arbor. And does Bronson want to destroy that? Does not look like it.
He's got multiple ways to destroy it. He's got Dark Blast, and he's got a land, I believe.
Yeah, land would be good enough here. Andrew has a few different options here, but
Cuvier, by the way. Thanks, Frank.
Alright, and a Kitchen Finks for Andrew Cuneo. Going to put him back up to 17 here.
Yeah.
And
Probably up to 19. Up
Going
to
up
17.
to-
He's going to pay Phyrexian Mana to use the ability.
seems like a reasonable choice. Yep. So Andrew taking 3, going out of 14, then getting 2, going up to 16. -1/-1 counter on the Kitchen Finks. Andrew going to search his library, most likely for a Ranger of Eos here. Perhaps a Murderous Redcap. Murderous Redcap would be a pretty good counter to Liliana on the table.
Now, Ranger, go get 2 Visceral Seers.
Seems very reasonable.
Got Visceral Seer and Noble Hierarch.
I like that. And here we're seeing like the real power of Birthing Pod. He just, played a Kitchen Finks and gave him a 2/1, a 3/2, and a Noble Hierarch and a Visceral Seer still in his hand.
Sure.
And that's really impressive for one card to do all by
It
itself.
looks like it's Countryside Crushers, not Dark Blast in his hand. And no lands either.
Yeah, I think his hand is a Flame Jab, which can do a little bit of work, but not a ton. A pair of Countryside Crushers and a Life in the Loam. Bronson with a few different options here. Again, this deck is just one of these decks that offers up like a million different options for turn. It actually
it's so
is just
complicated.
complicated beyond what you might imagine it would be even. Just gonna go ahead and Flame Jab. Thanks. A type play.
So it's Crusher land.
Yeah, now the Dryad Arbor Andrew Cuneo has in play can be used to kill Liliana. Or wait, he can Flame Jab it, correct?
I don't think he has a Flame Jab.
I thought he drew one off the top. I may be wrong though. Oh, no. The Flame Jab was used in the Kitchen Finks, I apologize.
Yeah. Andrew's constructing a house of cards here.
Yeah. Seems to be quite a lot going on his side of the table. Now, Liliana probably just getting -2 here again.
Countryside Crusher from MAGNON.
Yeah, now, if Bronson -2 Siciliana, now that he, it's just bad for him. Kind of has to, though.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, he gives more value to his Revelark by sacrificing another Viserys here. Previously, the Revelark only had one graveyard target. Now, he's going to get more value out of it. I don't think Bronson's going to play another red-black land. That's the only green lands Bronson plays. 2, 3, 4, 12. So
Check for 5.
5 damage going into the red zone here. Major CUNEO. Okay, for a Monic Sliver. Ooh, and that's going to be pretty good here.
Wow.
For those of you unaware, Harmonic Sliver is a 1/1 for 1 a green and a white. It says whenever a sliver enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment.
How come you're so familiar with that? So he was holding a land, kills a noble hierarch.
Turns Countryside Crusher into a 4/4. Yeah, I have a Viserys here and a Noble Hierarch back into play for Answer over here.
I think we're going to see Macias,
Yeah.
the Unhallowed. So now all of Andrew's creatures have Undying.
Yeah. Which is,
Good.
yeah, very good.
What?
Especially when I have a Viserys here.
Oh, is it non-humans? Okay. It might just be non-human creatures. It's humans die when they attack you.
Another Countryside Crusher for Bronson. And he just passes the turn. Now,
Do you know your social security number now? Do you know it now?
That's Intimidate. Among its many lines of text. Some of which Bronson Magnon will read right now.
yeah. He's probably played against the card. Didn't take too long reading it. It's got a lot of text on it.
There's Malira. Okay.
And Andrew CUNEO takes the first game here.
Wow. Didn't look like that was going to happen, but kind of Bronson never really got started. He didn't have any dredge action going.
Yeah, he never drew green
He was a
source,
little short on
basically.
land. Yeah, he would have been happy to even see a Dark Blast in there.
Yeah, I mean, just about
Something that
anything
would
there
get
would've been fine.
something that would get it
I mean,
started.
he's got to deal with the early pressure that is put on him. But at the same time, like the mid game, if there's a birthing pot on the table, just about anything can become something extremely dangerous. Post board, Bronson gets access to Ancient Grudge though, which should help him out in that department, give him a little more longevity. Also post board, Bronson has access to Torpor Orb, a card that will probably work wonders here.
Andrew's going to bring in.
We're looking for Ivan Loach. Ivan Floch, we need your deck for the deck check. Ivan Floch, please come to the main stage.
So you see the bracket. You see how the route these guys took to get here. Bronson played against Samuel Carls in the first round. Samuel was playing fairies.
Yes.
And then in the other end of that bracket, Mary Jacobson and Samuel Friedman matched up in a clash of,
Clash
very
of
similar
Robots.
decks. Clash of the Robots. Mary's playing more Burn than Samuel, but Samuel ended up coming out victorious.
He had Springleaf Drums, which Mary did not have.
Yeah, where she had Shrapnel Blast.
Correct.
So, and then Bronson defeated Samuel in the semifinals to advance to the finals. On the other side of the table, we saw Luis Scott Vargas with Blue White Tron against Matt Mercier with Jund. Luis won that match and had to go up and face against Andrew Cuneo, who was playing against Derek Rutledge, also playing Jund. Andrew's playing Malirapod. Andrew won that match, a huge load off his mind. He came here really with the intent of qualifying for Barcelona. By getting to the top 4, he wins an invite and airfare to Barcelona.
Yeah, very exciting match for him to win.
And then he
beats Luis,
Yeah.
which is a bad matchup for him.
Yeah,
By all means.
yeah.
If anybody had the opportunity to watch Luis play against Matt Mercier, I don't think I've seen somebody draw better than Luis during that match.
That was supposed to be a bad match for him, too. Right?
It was supposed to be a very bad match for Luis, but Luis in game 1 had a Iona in play on turn 3. Turn 3. Actual.
What are we looking at here? Are they resolving something? Are they still mulliganing? Oh, they're still mulliganing. Okay. I thought he was resolving a fetch land with 4 lands in hand, and I don't know. I'm thinking about the ancient grudge, it looks like.
And the ancient grudge is coming in.
It looks like it's going to the side, honestly. There you get a look at Bronson.
Excuse me?
I said there you get a look at Bronson.
Yep. In
So-
the zone.
And Blake.
Yeah,
Blake Rasmussen, very nervous in the background there.
Yeah.
Eating his fingernails like they were chicken wings. And you see a little bit of Andrew's arm in on the right of your screen. There he is, Andrew Cuneo. 2 Pro Tour top 8s.
2 Pro Tour top 8s is a very impressive stat
Yeah,
to behold.
yeah. 2000 and 2001 team competition. Teaming with Aaron Forsyth and was it not Patrick Johnson? What was his name? No, I don't remember. No, not Scott Johns. Pat. I can't remember his name. Their teammate.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I do remember back in those days, it was a Mercadian team event, Team Rochester Mercadian Masks.
Sure, that was 2000.
That was the first one he won, I believe, and the second one was
Invasion Block.
the Invasion Block. Yeah,
No, wait, was that right?
I think it was the Invasion Block.
No, it wasn't Invasion Block. Yeah. No, it's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I know the singles Invasion Block Rochester event was won by Mike Stulnik, right?
It was.
But the team event, I believe, was won by Andrew Cuneo. If he wins, afterward we can ask him.
We didn't win.
Well, if he, if he wins this tournament, afterward we can ask him.
There's just an interesting guy I was talking to him. He's a big pinball aficionado.
Oh, really?
Plays in a band.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah, I really like talking to him a lot.
Pinball's a pretty fun pastime. And it's interesting how that's kind of it used to be something that people were really, really into. I like the Who.
My favorite safecracker. Fairly obscure machine, but one of my favorites. Have you been to the Pinball Museum in Asbury Park?
I've not. sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. You just pay by the hour, and you can just play as many pinball machines as you want.
Really?
Yeah,
Man.
from all throughout
really good
history. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that actually sounds really fun. It's that like generationally, I feel like I miss that. I spent a lot of time in arcades as a kid.
Sure.
You know, it's nowadays, parents don't really let their kids go places on their own. But
It's probably good that they didn't. When I was a kid, we went to the arcade, and it was firebombed by the Russian mob with kids in it. So, not even kidding.
jeez. My brothers and I got kicked out of the arcade a few times. Not even doing anything bad. It was just like,
Just
we're
firebombing
being
people?
kids,
Blaming it on the Russian mob.
That was me. We traveled
Yeah.
back in time
Yeah.
as children to firebomb your arcade. But we played a lot of Street Fighter 2
I mean,
in the early 90s.
I should say allegedly the Russian mob. Just to be,
You never know.
yeah. Anyway, we're about to get. Looks like we're about to get started in game 2. So much shuffling.
A lot of shuffling going on here. These decks will certainly be randomized. The only way they can be more randomized is if it were on Magic Online.
Yeah. Something Andrew would like. He prefers to play on Magic Online. He's Gainsay on Magic Online.
Oh, he's Gainsay.
Yeah, he's Gainsay. Suddenly a light goes off.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Gainsay?
So he does not, he still doesn't always feel comfortable playing physical paper Magic. It feels like he...
I feel like he's certainly feeling a little more comfortable now. He's finals of a Grand Prix. Again, the top 16 finish at Worlds.
There's an Inquisition of Kozilek. See a Dismember, an Eternal Witness, Nicaeus, a Wall of Roots, 3 lands. You take Wall of Roots?
Huh.
No, you gotta take Eternal
I
Witness,
think
yeah.
you just take Witness.
You have to take Witness, because...
Witness is really good against Bronson's deck. It, counteracts what you're trying to do so well.
You have to take Witness.
And, I'm pretty sure he's going to take the Witness. He has a Raven's Crime in hand and a Liliana. He's definitely taking Witness.
Okay. He's thinking about it, though.
Maybe he has a turn 2 Confidant. If he has a turn 2 Confidant, you should take this member, right?
Sure. And I think you have just given us
Cracked the puzzle.
evidence that he's gonna. But
gonna
again, you
crack.
can just get it
Play.
back. But I guess you'll have a few cards by then, and you don't really
You
care.
get a draw 2 out of it, and you make Andrew pay a lot of mana. And that draw 2, along with your Raven's Crime in hand and your Liliana, is going to do quite a bit of work.
Bob.
Yeah. We didn't see that one coming. But, I think that was definitely the right play on Bronson's part. I think if you don't have Dark Confidant on your hand, it's
Sure.
very easily the Witness. In Bronson's quarterfinal matchup, he sideboarded out all his 2-drops, and his opponent post-board had a full set of Spell Snares and Threads of Disloyalty.
Oh my god.
So his opponent had 8 dead cards in his deck.
Oh my god. That would explain how miserable he looked when I walked over and watched a little bit of that match.
Yeah, and it was especially bad because, he was Ravens criming his opponent. His opponent was at the end holding double threats after getting Ravens crimed a bunch, expecting to, steal a Goyf and get back in the
god,
game.
he's trying to hold on to those cards.
Yeah.
Wow.
A Wall of Roots from Andrew Cuneo on turn 2.
What's going on here? Oh, he did not resolve his Dark Confidant trigger.
It was caught by the judge, though. Table judge is a nice thing to have sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I draw that card. And there's Liliana.
And Liliana's going to put some hurt on Andrew because now Andrew's going to be forced to tap out for that Witness.
Yeah.
And then Bronson, with all those extra cards he's been accruing from that Dark Confidant, is going to be able to +1 Liliana and Raven's Crime quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he's
got
going to be in a pretty good
handful
spot.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, with the Eternal Witness, targets a dismember, as one might expect. Bronson reveals his card for Dark Confidant, and it's a Flame Jab. Draws, and it's a land.
No, it's really good for him.
Yeah, that's good. Very, very good for him. Bronson at 19 now from that Dark Confidant trigger. Let's see what he does. He's going to go ahead and Flame Jab this Eternal Witness.
Discard a card.
Attacks for 2. It's Andrew down to 15 here. And does he have another Dark Confidant, or is he going to start Raven's Crowning?
I think he has to start Raven's Crime, right?
It depends whether or not he has a second Confidant.
Right, and whether or not he has Life in the Loam or something you get back.
And he's certainly going to tick up his Liliana. I might do that first, just to get a little more information. See what Andrew discards. He's already written down some of the cards in Andrew's hand. He can get a more narrow idea of what Andrew has if Andrew discards a card that he hasn't seen yet. Discards a Swamp.
Are they blue?
And
Are they blue?
tapping both. Is this 2 Raven's Crime shirt? Yep. It's a double Raven's Crime. Andrew gets rid of the Machias, as one might expect. And Bronson with another Raven's Crime. Another Raven's Crime.
Yep.
Andrew gets rid of the Dismember, huh?
Ugh.
I'm interested to see what Andrew has in his hand. Perhaps a 4th land. And, is that a Kitchen Finks? Oh no, it looks like there's a white border on that card. Oh no, it is a Kitchen Finks. Bronson going down to 18 here. Can sacrifice that fetch land.
So by the way, Andrew played a Golgari Rot Farm.
Ooh, he played a Rot Farm. The bounce lands from Ravnica
Picked
Block
up a forest.
are some of my favorite cards ever printed.
Yeah, same. Personally, I prefer a Simic.
I'm
Growth
a big
Chamber.
Is It Boilerworks kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a Simic kind of guy.
Yeah.
How many cards in Andrew's hand? 2.
Yep.
So
One of which is a forest.
yeah, I don't think you have to Inquisition. I think you can just +1 Liliana, discard your Inquisition, and then Raven's Crime. Okay, place Inquisition. Up, double Forest.
We'd like to make them discard those, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you only have 2 cards in hand, you might as well just +1 Liliana.
You can trap them on 3 lands.
Okay. Guess that Kitchen Finks him to nothing. And
gonna flame jab
it. And that leaves Andrew with nothing but 2 forests in hand.
Yeah.
Bronson with a Confidant. And now another Confidant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Bronson just has this game so yeah.
Oh, and there's a birthing pod.
A Birthing Pod, pretty good. And ooh, Andrew takes 2 damage. Didn't really need to take there. All right. Or does he have a land off screen that we don't see? Bronson reveals 2 lands off the attacking Andrew down to 13.
Yep.
And that's a seismic assault.
Oh, well, look at that.
I appreciate the original Exodus art. The Weatherlight running away from Volrath's ickiness.
Ickiness. Good. It's a good flavor term there.
Alright, let's see. Birthing Pot up the top, just about perfect for Andrew here. But it's going to be difficult to race this seismic assault. Unload, doing a massive amount of damage to him.
Looks like he might have drawn a Ranger Vios.
Wow. I mean, those are good draw steps.
Yeah.
And that's one of the major problems in playing a deck where you're like attempting to Ravens crime your opponent's hand away.
Oh no, he Kitchen Finks.
Ooh, Kitchen Finks. I mean, still.
Which could be Ranger Vios pretty easily.
And that's probably better than a Ranger Vios.
Yeah.
And you get to gain a bunch of life, and you get to sacrifice it, you get 2-1. Trigger on the stack, trigger on the stack. Very nicely played by Bronson. Because the Kitchen Finks has a trigger when it comes into play, he can target it with the Seismic Assault, and Andrew never gets an opportunity to Birthing Pot it away because you can only use it at sorcery
if
speed.
that's just a normal creature he draws, if he just draws a vanilla 3-mana creature, then Andrew never yields priority, and he can sacrifice it to Birthing Pod. But because it doesn't enter the battlefield trigger, that
Andrew never gets
gives
an
it
opportunity
enters the battlefield, and then Bronson has a chance to respond.
Exactly.
And there's life from the loam. Probably game.
Now with a Tarmogoyf, just to add to
Yeah.
strength of Bronson's draw. Ooh. Obstinate Bailoff. Two lands will be enough to deal with Obstinate Bailoff. Andrew going up to 17 here. And reveals 2 cards off the Dark Confidant, a land, and a land.
Oh, nice.
And draws first turn. Does not dredge the life and alone. Tax. Now, in the graveyards, there's a
Doing
sorcery
Tarmogoyf
creature
math.
land. I believe it's 7
Planeswalker?
altogether. Ooh, Planeswalker. Yep. So 8. Andrew's going to fall to 9 in that attack.
Shows him the lands he needs to kill him from there.
Yeah, and that'll do it.
Good
Oh, there was an
Bronson.
instant also the Dismember.
Ah,
So
there
that's
you go.
why it actually put him at 8, so the 4 lanes were enough to finish it off. Alright. Going into game 3 here. And this game will decide the champion of Grand Prix Lincoln. We've been playing Modern all weekend. Seen some of the game's best. Luis Scott Vargas made it all the way to the top 4 of this Grand Prix. We also had Mary Jacobson make her top 8 premiere.
How big a deal do you think it was that Wild Mikado was banned before this tournament? Like how much of a shakeup was that on these on the decks we saw?
I think it matters. I think in a lot of ways the Tempered Steel players probably would have been on Zoo.
Okay,
Not Tempered Steel necessarily, but Artifact Aggro.
sure.
I feel like the Artifact Aggro deck, when Wild Nikotl was around, I just never really understood why people played it. I mean, you opened yourself up to getting blown out by decks that Ancient Grudge in their sideboard, and your deck really didn't have much more aggressive capability than a pure Zoo deck. But now that Wild Nikotl's gone, it really encourages people if they want to get aggressive to the extent that they're attacking the creatures and killing their opponent on the 3rd or 4th turn. They have to be playing these Artifact Aggro decks, and to do that, you're playing this extremely powerful deck that's especially strong against the slower decks in the format. But you're opening yourself up to perhaps having to play against a deck like Bronson's, which is just going to decimate you.
Right, which is feeding on, or a deck like Luis's, which is also poised to feed on some of the aggro decks.
Exactly.
I like Luis's deck a lot.
Yeah, I think Luis's deck was really good. He had 2 Wrath effects in his deck. Now, I didn't get a chance to talk to him about this, unfortunately, but I imagine a lot of people walked into those. People don't see Day of Judgment or Wrath of God coming out of these Tron decks nowadays. Most of the deck lists you see, the decks that are top hitting the PDQs on Magic Online, the decks that are ranked tallies, they don't play Day of Judgment or Wrath of God. So, I mean, that's a pretty big edge to have.
Right.
Just have, Wrath of God's always good, but Wrath of God's a lot better if your opponent doesn't know it's in your deck.
Sure.
And that's where we saw Luis beat Mary in Game 2 of the match we watched them play.
Right. He was all set up for her next wave of attacks when he wrathed away the first one.
Yeah.
You see how how securely you could hide behind that too. You know, you're like, okay, I'm going to clear your board, and I have these like 2 answers. Yeah, it seemed great.
And obviously his end game against those types of decks is about as good as it gets. Elishnorn.
Yeah.
Elishnorn
Which
is...
can be in play on turn 4.
Or turn 3, potentially. In Luis' quarterfinal match, we watched him play all 3 Urza pieces on his first 3 turns and an Azorius Signet on turn 2.
Oh,
so
God.
on turn 3, he was able to tap the Azorius Signet into 2 Urza pieces, float a white, leave the tower untapped,
Oh, boy.
gifts, get Iona and Unburial Rights,
Oh, man.
and then, have an Iona Shield of Memory play on turn 3.
Ugh. That's
I mean,
disgusting.
you know-
All right, so
Ooh, opening
Andrew's
hands.
on the play.
And this is it.
Is this
So
the
that's what
7-card
decided.
hand that I can win Grand Prix Lincoln, Nebraska with? It's the
What
question
these
I have
players
to
have
ask
asked
themselves.
themselves.
Looks like both players are keeping. What are they thinking? Is Andrew thinking about keeping his hand, Rashad?
Yeah. All right, Andrew chose to keep, and it looks like Bronson chose to do the same. All right. This time it does not look like Bronson has the turn 1 form of disruption in his hand. He's going to play Blood Crypt tapped and pass the turn back over to Andrew. Andrew now with a hand that looks a little bit slow, but has a lot of his cards that are good against Bronson's deck. Just having a Birthing Pod in play against Bronson is a really powerful thing. All right, an Inquisition of Kozilek from Bronson. It's going to allow him to look at Andrew's hand, and he sees a Maelstrom Pulse, a pair of Hordes, and a Birthing Pod. So Bronson probably going to take the Maelstrom Pulse here. I think I saw a Dark Confidant on his hand.
Did you see a Maelstrom Pulse? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. It almost looks like it's part of the playmat.
Yeah.
Bronson could also take a chord here, depending on his hand. And again, this is one of the things about Bronson's deck. I mean, the deck may look cool to everybody at home. It's extremely powerful. It's really well poised for the format, but this
the
deck
ball.
is difficult. You're really going to have to grind out your matches if you want to win a tournament with that deck. Andrew ran in 19.
All right, well, he's one of the few players we've seen go to time in multiple rounds.
Yeah. And he's taking his time with decisions, and that's perfectly respectable considering.
Oh, yeah, I don't mean it like
difficulty
he's playing slow. I think his deck just takes a lot of time. He sets up these inexorable wins, but...
All right, Andrew CUNEO playing another green source. This will allow him to end of turn chord for 0, so he can go grab a Dryad Arbor.
Right, and accelerate his mana.
Develop a bit. Did not choose to stick the Birthing Pod with that opportunity. Bronson ready for the Birthing Pod with an Ancient Grudge. A Dark Confidant from Bronson. And looks like he's ready to pass the turn. Is Flame Jab an instant or a sorcery?
I believe it's sorcery.
It's a sorcery.
Yeah.
Correct?
Right, Flame Jab's a sorcery, right, Rashad? Yeah.
Okay.
It would be kind of sick otherwise.
It would actually just be like the sickest thing. It would be in every deck. All right. Andrew choosing not to chord for 0 on Bronson's end step.
There's Kitchen Fix.
Yeah. And Kitchen Finks is really strong against Bronson's deck, and in game 2 we really didn't get to see that strength because Bronson just kind of had every single angle that his deck can have. But
What he wants to do with the
Alright, so it looks like Bronson's going to be able to cast a Liliana, make Andrew sacrifice the Kitchen Finks, and then use a Flame Jab to finish it off. And that's something we've been seeing him do over and over again.
Yeah,
He's
Liliana
forced
looks great in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, he continually has to, almost 2-for-1 himself in order to deal with the Kitchen Finks, but he's got all these extra
He also
cards
doesn't
coming
mind
his
getting.
way.
He also doesn't mind getting cards into his graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he can discard a Flame Jab or a Life from the Loam, that's fine.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, he recoups the cards so easily because of Life from the Loam and Dark Confidant that it's really not a big deal for him to, let his opponent outcard
I
him.
think Bronson's going to win this GP.
I think you're right. It's really exciting for him. This is the deepest he's ever gone in a tournament. He's a PTQ player from Florida, and yesterday I was talking about how he had no buys, but it's actually mistaken. He had won a GPT, so he actually had 3 buys coming into the game. That's why he made the trip out here. It's a friend of David Sharpman.
Okay. Yeah. We got a lot of Floridians cheering for him on Facebook. Led by Frank Lepore, shaking the pom-poms.
Very nice. I mean, I'm always excited to see the new guy win.
Sure.
Yep. Bronson reveals a Forest. Draws first turn. And this Confidant is kind of running away with the game at this point.
Yeah.
And that's what Dark Confidant does. And Dark Confidant, a card we've seen surprisingly little of in this modern format.
Yeah. I was surprised that we weren't seeing the Zoo decks go back to it. Dark Zoo, as it was called.
That's what I played in Valencia. For coverage, I slowly learned that I've actually just played every deck ever. Andrew, avoiding a 19 from this attack from Dark Confidant.
They're just slowly trying to build a hand that'll let him win.
And that's what his deck does.
So chord for 2. 12 roots, okay. That counts as 2 mana for chord purposes.
Yes, it does. Wolver's one of the best cards to have alongside Chord Falling for just that reason.
That's exactly what it is. He's gonna, I guess, get a Murderous Red Cap and kill Liliana? Or kill the Dark Confidant.
It looks like he's going to grab a Red Cap and kill the Confidant. You had pointed out that the Confidant was kind of running away with the game, and Andrew there was able to effectively deal with that. But
sure.
Now he's down to 2 cards in his hand. It's not looking especially great for him. That Birthing Pod in his hand also. Bronson has an Ancient Grudge in hand.
Right, lined up.
They're reading Murderous Red Cap. When it comes into play, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player.
Trying to figure out if he can do anything with that Dark Blast there. Goes on the stack, give it a Dark Blast. It's only takes 1 damage. Still gets the Confidant.
Bronson starting a land, Andrew following suit. Andrew
Uncap.
Going to do damage to Liliana, presumably.
Let's do one more.
And Bronson going to finish it off.
Is that a life from the land in his hand?
It is a life from the land.
So,
So those lands, you know, it may have looked like he just 3 for 1 himself, but in reality,
right.
that was a complete non-issue. Andrew Cuneo, no haste creatures that he can tutor up
Right.
to deal with the Liliana. And it's a birthing pod. It's going to go ahead, sacrifice this Wall of Roots, and I guess he's grabbing another Kitchen Finks.
Yep.
Andrew popping himself up to 21 here. But
Still a long way to go.
yeah, I mean, there's a little bit left in this match. Ooh, that's a Dark Blast. Bronson going to Ancient Grudge this birthing pod almost immediately. Returning a bunch of lands back to his hand before he does so. He could +1 the Liliana if he wants and discard the Ancient Grudge. That way he only has to pay 1.
Right.
And that way he can also shoot the Kitchen Finks twice, and the Kitchen Finks can't kill the Liliana. And it leaves Andrew with no cards in hand and just the 2-1. And the next turn he can finish off with a Flame Jab. And that seems like it may be the right play. Yeah, and that's exactly what he chooses to do. Well done. Your brain may be jello after this long day, but still getting it done. Bronson Magnon. Goes up to 23, and now he's completely out of gas. And Bronson's got a life from the loan.
Right.
And, you know, that life from the loan, you know, every turn it can be an Arc Lightning.
Yeah.
It can be a Mind Twist for 3.
Yeah, he needs basically like a Bajuka Bog or something here. Right now.
Right now. It's not looking great for Andrew in this spot. Ooh, and a birthing pot off the top. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Bronson discarded that Ancient Grudge may actually get him into trouble here.
Great idea, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, well, Andrew would have had to top deck the birthing pot for that to have been the wrong
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
But he did. I mean, that was the 1-turn window that Andrew had an opportunity to do that, because after that,
So now he goes
had
gets
nothing in
Ranger,
play.
gets Ranger Leos, I believe. Or does he just get opposite Bailoff and figure he has to attack here? He can't do that. He has to get Ranger Leos and like 2 creatures. 2, yep.
Yeah, that seems right.
But he's just going to lose everything here anyway, right? Just going to... I guess
Yeah,
he
I mean, he doesn't quite lose everything.
Sure does. It's like untap. We'll have a birthing pod.
Yeah, he'll have a birthing pod.
It's going to be like untap, you know, shoot your guy, sacrifice a creature.
Well, he can't make him sacrifice a guy. He only has 1 counter on his Liliana.
Oh, okay.
So, Andrew will still have 1 guy in play. Loam. Going to get back another 3 lands here. And the other thing is that Andrew's going to get the Scry, too. So Andrew's going to top deck something.
What's that?
Andrew's going to get the Scry, too. And the thing is, Bronson's going to have to target this Viserys here first. Because he doesn't want to let Andrew Scry more than once.
Right.
And Andrew's not going to sacrifice multiple guys to the Viserys here because
No.
he wants to make Bronson use the cards that are necessary to deal with that. Andrew Cuneo.
Keep or no?
I mean, that's the question. I mean, this is tough.
He's like, I know I can find a way out of this.
I mean, he's pretty good at this game.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with this deck.
Yeah. Probably played this deck more than anybody else.
Yeah. So he left one card on top. Is what happened.
All right. Did Bronson not play land that turn?
He discarded 2 lands to kill.
Couldn't he have just Dark Blasted and then discarded a land and played a land? I mean, again, operationally, deck extremely difficult to work out. Yeah, so he used 3 Flame Jabs that turn. He could have Dark Blasted.
So Malira gets Eternal Witness. Eternal Witness gets back. Murderous Redcap. Murderous Redcap kills.
Yeah, and suddenly Andrew Cuneo looking like he's in a dominating position in this game. He drew that Birthing Pod on the key turn, and it allowed him to dig his way out of that hole that he was in.
So now he can sacrifice Murderous Redcap into Revelark.
Yep.
Revelark into Malira and Viscera Seer.
And I mean that
should be
enough. Ooh, but it's not that simple. Bronson has a Bajuka Bog that he just returned to his hand.
Ah,
So Bajuka Bog's going to come down.
what do you got?
All right. And I think Bronson was really hoping to dredge himself into an Ancient Grudge there. Did not. And I mean, this is a really tight game 3 going on right now. Bronson is likely going to be forced to bog this turn.
Seems like bad things happen if you don't bog.
Yeah, I mean, I assume what he's thinking about is, he's probably going to want to Flame Jab twice to get rid of the Noble Hierarch and the Eternal Witness, then bog.
Sure.
That'll minimize the effectiveness of the Birthing Pod, but Andrew's still going to go grab a Revelark, and then he's going to have to deal with that. But if he grabs the Revelark, then Bronson can Flame Jab away the Revelark when there's nothing in the graveyard.
Flame Jab the Red Cap you.
Yeah, then he's going to just get rid of the Red Cap.
He throws the bog at it.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a fine play. He's seen Andrew Cuneo's deck list. So perhaps Andrew only has 1 copy of Murderous Redcap and 1 copy of the... Andrew may still have a Phyrexian Metamorph, however. So that doesn't do much right now, though. Because he can't sacrifice the Witness and copy the Witness. Does Andrew Cuneo have a He only has one Ranger. So it looks like Andrew maybe out of 4s.
Interesting.
Unless he kept Limvala in his deck, which I highly doubt.
Yeah.
So well played on Bronson's part.
Thank you for 3.
Bronson dropping to 16 from that attack.
Gets an Exalted trigger from the Noble Hierarchy. Sure. Wonder where the extra point comes from. And then here goes Witness. Okay.
Ooh, so maybe he does have a 4. What do you have in his deck?
Well, we've seen Entomber Exarchs.
Oh, he has Obstinate Bailoff left.
We've seen Obstinate Bailoff.
You're running up to 21 from that Obstinate Bailoff. Andrew had that 1-turn window to draw this Birthing Pod. Bronson's hoping he hits an Ancient Grudge in the top 3 cards of his library now, and he dredges his life in the line.
Well, he's going to get the Bajuka Bog back, and the Bog will give him a few more turns.
Yeah.
Does not mill out Ancient Grudge.
Does not hit the Ancient Grudge, exactly. So he's going to be forced to Flame Jab away this Noble Hierarch, and then play a lot of Coloration, or I guess he's going to have to play the Bajuka Bog. Or maybe he can wait 1 turn. The Birthing Pod can only be activated once.
Sure.
So. He decides to do it now. I think that's reasonable.
What I get.
Bronson going to 12 from this attack from Andrew. Ooh, Andrew drew a Shriek Maw.
I've definitely seen Andrew take his slow attack route to victory.
And a Torpor revealed there. Powerful card against Andrew that did not come into play this game.
You only get 3, right?
Doesn't only get 3. Didn't he already have one in his hand?
Does he only get 3? Did he just get 4
3.
lands? Did you ask her? Did he just get 4 lands? What? Okay. They're on it.
Okay.
He's like, I just want more lands.
Yeah. All right. So he may just be looking through them and seeing which one
Sure.
he wants to take here. Turn. I'm going to play a lot forward, just pass the turn over. Andrew.
Who's 3 hits away.
Yeah, 3 hits away from being the Grand Prix Lincoln champion. Everybody loves a comeback story. CUNEO showing us how to make a comeback.
One of our fellow Magic the Other columnists is listening at home, Adam Staworski.
Hello, Adam.
He said our voices are dreamy.
Well, they are. You know. Right now, Andrew drew a Bird of Paradise. So what 2s does he have left?
Well, he still
at
has
this point?
Malira, right?
Does he have more Maliras? I guess, yeah, he definitely has more Maliras.
I think we've seen 1.
We've only seen 1 this game, yeah.
Okay, get you to 8. I gotta tell you, that Obstinate Bailoff has closed out more games for him.
It's done some work.
Yeah.
Andrew sacrifice that Bird of Paradise. Let's see what he grabs. I assume it's going to be a Malira.
What he
That
wants
might
to do
be
is,
all that he has left.
well, what he wants to do is just it's wall roots.
Oh, yeah. That seems...
I feel like he wants to keep like Bronson from just stocking up on enough lands, maybe to kill the Bailoff.
Yes, I mean, that has more toughness than anything else that you grab. Seems ideal. Bronson dredges the life in the loam, and still no Ancient Grudge. Let's see.
He's got enough land in hand to flame jab at this point, right?
Yeah, now he'll definitely be able to flame jab it. He'll also be able to Raven's Prime away the last card in Andrew's hand.
He's like, I'll just leave these out. I'm going to be using them to pay for stuff. There goes Shipmaw.
So he successfully gets the Shriekmaw out of Andrew's hand.
Okay.
Sort of the Obstinate Bailoff. This game's
Yeah.
a grind. I mean, we've seen a lot of Bronson's games be like this.
Yeah.
It's a somewhat difficult thing to have to battle your way through.
Just trying to figure out what you need from the game. No, give it to us. Sounds like candy.
All right, and Andrew goes ahead and grabs himself a Kitchen
Hey,
Finks.
it'll wait. Thank you. Plays his land. Why not?
Bronson going to dredge life in the loam yet again. So the grudge? Nope, still no grudge. Alright, Bronson's going to yep, and Andrew going up to 25 now. And, I think Bronson's
Bronson's at
library is getting dangerously low here.
Yeah. But he won't get that because he can,
Oh, okay. No, he's still got plenty of
and he can
cards.
just dredge every turn
Yeah.
instead of draw.
Yeah, if you don't have enough cards in your deck
Oh,
to dredge, you
okay,
cannot.
okay.
Alright, so now Bronson going to start hitting land drops and attacking with a Lobclaw Reaches. Yeah. The deck doesn't always win in the prettiest way, but...
Yeah.
Alright, attacks for 6. Andrew falling to 19 here.
Here you go. Lowers into 18. Second. Nope.
Andrew find here.
Did you get an obstinate Bailoff?
What did he draw here? He drew a, I think he drew Kasali Prime Edge?
Well, I thought it was a Bailoff, but
Bailoff would be very good. He can get Rebel Arc. Alright. And another Kitchen Finks. The last one.
okay.
And I mean, he's but even with all this dredging going on from Bronson, Andrew's library is almost as small. Ooh, and Andrew takes a draw step. Or Bronson takes a draw step, rather.
Well, at some point he's got to find like a seismic assault or.
Yeah. And it's the last line on hand to have that kitchen things. When he plays Confidant, that's actually a pretty aggressive Confidant there. I mean, he's at 8.
Yeah.
If you're playing 22. I guess, I mean, if it gets to that point, he can just kill it with a flame jab.
Sure.
Like, if there's a chance that it's going to kill him. And this is a really, really tight game 3. Like, what a game to end this Grand Prix.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew's deck has just not had the ability to maneuver at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's drawn very well too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Boom.
trades.
Not so aggressive.
I agree. Yeah, and Birds of Paradise getting sacrificed. I think it's going to be another Wall of Roots.
Taking a good look through his deck, seeing what his plan is. He can't convert that into a 3 anymore, right, as far as we know?
I don't think it's possible anymore, no. Oh, yes, he can. He can get a Harmonic Sliver, actually.
Which I don't think he wants to get.
I do not think he wants
That
to
would
get
kill his
Harmonic
Birthing
Sliver.
Pod.
That would.
But it's a must.
Yes. So Life
We'll
Alone,
get life
Dragging Back
from
once
him.
again.
How many seismic assaults has he flipped by?
I think all of them.
I've seen a lot of them. They're pretty distinctive. Okay, back with Lava Claw reaches.
It's in for 6. I'm actually really impressed here that Bronson knows that the only 3 he has left is the Harmonic Sliver. I mean, he saw his opponent's deck list.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have played that thing much differently. Yeah. Very well played. I don't think there's any reason to dredge at this point. Ah. Bronson disagrees. And he hits the Grudge. Yeah. Grudge gonna get rid of that Birthing Pod. Now, Bronson going to,
How many cards are left?
I don't know how many cards left in his deck at this point. He's gonna Life from the Loam again?
Yep.
I agree. And Life from the Loam again. The Raven's Prime first. Get rid of that Dismember. Nicely done. And yeah, I mean, he never has to miss another land drop. He can start attacking for a lot of damage with that Lava Claw reaches. And yeah, Life from the Loam getting back another 3 lands here. Continuing to grind this game out, Bronson. And I mean, Andrew really needs to top deck his one of Revel Arc, or he's in a world of hurt.
Sure. You know, it's also, well, he's got enough cards at this point in his hand that he could just kill him with the flame jab it to death, but the Machias is also kind of...
I think the Machias has been removed from the game.
Oh, that was early.
It was discarded to a Liliana trigger
Oh, yeah,
and then removed
you're right.
with Jukabog. All right, Bronson taking a draw step, and it's a life from the loan. He just can't draw anything else.
Yeah.
He's cursed.
Ravens grab you. You just attack here now?
Yeah, I think you just start attacking. You play land and you attack. And I mean, this has been an incredibly complex game. I give both players a lot of credit for staying as tight as they have throughout this game.
Andrew blocks. Bumps to kill it.
Bronson play land yet? Does not look like it. And there's a life in the one.
He's gonna have every land in his deck.
Yeah, he's got a lot of lands.
Run. Well, that's a card.
That is certainly a card.
Can Thrun get in for the rest of the damages?
I mean, it doesn't need to get him for much more
2
at
hits.
this point. How many cards does Bronson have left in his deck? Can he burn out? Bronson going to have to figure out a way to win this game. I mean, interestingly, Andrew can't really attack.
Sort of.
Well, I guess he can, because Bronson dies in 2 hits. He dies in 1 hit. Torpor Orb. Not excessively relevant at this point.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything left that affects him. Andrew's done.
Yeah, I mean...
Andrew is attacking. I'm going to get you 4. What are you going to do? Constant mists.
Well, I mean, Bronson can essentially block forever with the Lava Flow Reaches
Sure.
if he needs to, and then... Well, it comes into play tapped, so we actually cannot do that. Well done, Wizards, preventing that from happening. I mean...
Bronson's a 4. There's a birthing pod.
Wow! Such draw steps. Very nice.
Is he going to... He's not going to sacrifice Thron.
Oh, I don't think so.
You see the determined face of Andrew Cuneo.
Yeah, I mean, this is a finals game that
That
he
is
has
a-
had to work extremely hard
That is a
for.
Gandalfian expression.
He drew Liliana.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, this is like the best finals game ever. Oh my gosh, alright.
You really do have a countryside man crusher
Oh
on
my
this
god, this is... I love a Countryside Crusher. Oh, you knew what everybody...
deck. And you're like, whatever. I guess you shall pass.
Alright, and time to activate Lava Flow Reaches and start getting in there.
Draft Judge, please report to the scorekeeping station. Draft Judge to the scorekeeping station.
Attacks
So
for
5, 6.
6. Andrew's down at 9 now. Now Andrew's dead next turn if he doesn't draw a creature here. Did you draw a creature? Nope, and that's it.
Wow, congratulations, Bronson Magnon.
I mean, that was
Congratulations, your Grand Prix Lincoln, Nebraska modern champion, going to his first Pro Tour. And Pro Tour Avison Restored in Barcelona.
He's going to Spain.
He's going to Spain. He couldn't even believe it. You know, he got through his quarterfinal match, and he's like, Am I going to the Pro Tour? Am I going to the Pro Tour? Yes, you are.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you see.
Yeah.
The shiny Liliana.
Foil Liliana.
Yeah, Florida has been having a couple of really good years on the Pro Tour, and Bronson Magnon is adding to their ranks, coming to Pro Tour Avison Restored.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez, these guys, Pat Cox, David Sharfman.
Yeah, you ever see like
Bronson
a
Magnon.
boxing match where both boxers are just
Not to mention Ben Stark.
Yeah,
You know?
we talk about like haymaker magic, but you ever see like just like both boxers are just slumped over there, like they're like resting their foreheads almost
It's
on
like
each
the
other's
last
shoulders.
round.
And they're just kind of
so
like
tired. That's what it was like. Oh man,
they're just kind of like. So that was
such an
just
incredible match.
yeah. We went back and forth both times. We thought maybe Thrum, the last troll, was gonna get there, but
The last troll,
wow.
and that was incredible. And I mean, I'm so happy. That is the deck that I've been literally talking about this deck.
Sure.
We haven't had it on camera until it was playing for Taco.
Right.
I saw the deck in round 4, and I was just so excited about it. And I said, I think this is such an incredible deck. And after round 1 of day 2, he was X2-1, so he had to win out.
Right.
And
So you're saying he hasn't lost today?
what?
He hasn't lost today?
No, he lost the first round today.
Oh, okay.
No. He was X1-1 going into
Oh,
day
okay.
2.
I got you.
And on day 1, he had lost a round because, remember, he
Right.
had responded to a Pestermite as opposed to responding to the trigger on the Pestermite.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was him.
Yeah.
And now he's the champion.
Yeah.
That's
Grand Prix
you know,
Lincoln, our modern Grand Prix,
incredible.
716 players. Started 715 players. Pat and Bronson on the back.
Yep.
All right, maybe 714. Andrew might be a little salty. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Andrew's got to be
Yeah.
after a match like that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for Andrew, it's all gravy. Once he got past the quarterfinals, he was looking to qualify for Pro Tour Barcelona, Pro Tour
And
Avison
he got
Resort.
there.
He got there. So both these players also
Another notch on his resume, also.
yeah, also earning spots. I mean, Luis Scott Vargas already qualified, and then who's the fourth player with? That was it was Samuel
He beat
Friedman. Samuel Friedman.
Samuel Freeman. Thank you.
Who beat Mary Jacobson?
It was a
in
long
the
final
quarterfinals.
match.
Yeah.
My brain.
Yeah,
is,
that was a
kind of
long
like
match. It went the full 3
trying
games.
to log everything that was going on
It went.
in the game.
It
yeah.
went. Oh, it probably went. What would you say? 95 out of 120 cards.
Yeah, perhaps more. I mean, I think Bronson had less than 10 cards left in his deck at
Right.
the end there.
And honestly, there weren't that many cards left in Andrew's deck either.
Yeah, and both of them were.
Yeah, we saw that go 90. I would say 95 out of 120.
That's a game. It's a game of Magic.
So I saw Michael Hetrick was talking on Twitter, and I saw him be like, "Oh no, we're not going to be able to play Loam after this GP." So that's going to certainly change. You saw a couple decks, I think. Will change. I mean, how do you think the deck that did make the top 8 here was Andrew Olschwager's Black-White Swag deck? How do you think that deck's positioned against the Loam deck?
I mean, it's surgical extractions, right?
Right?
I think he only had one, but if he had more, then that could do some work. Surgical extraction of life alone obviously takes a massive chunk out of
Right.
Bronson's game plan, but game 1 it just seems like a disaster for the black-white deck.
But I mean, it seemed
Like,
like,
you're
a
trying to
lot.
cast, like,
That seemed like a
2-1s
lot of our matches that we saw with the black-white deck. So what are your takeaways deck-wise? Black-white swag, blue-white Tron. We saw it looked awesome. Malira Pod looked tremendous, but really the breakout deck here is Agrolum. Not a deck that a lot of people were playing.
Yeah.
I
I think something great about this event is that this might just change the modern format entirely.
I think we saw a lot of game changers here.
I think, Mono Blue Fairies, which was, probably the most played Tier 1.5 deck.
Right.
Is that deck even playable now
Well,
that a flame jabbing deck?
I guess, but I mean, we did see the deck make the top 8, right?
It made the top 8,
but it changes.
This
the
final
composition
set,
of the Swiss changes by the results of this top 8.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. I think Bronson might be one of, a very small number of players.
I don't know if I want to play. I don't know if I want to play. Okay.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? Hey, buddy.
I told you.
I know.
You said you were going to
There
win.
are a lot of Floridians cheering you on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sick.
Bring it in.
It's awesome. So,
Nice.
We get some deck lists, partial and otherwise there. I got to squeeze in a little bit.
I mean, that was the finals, man.
yeah,
That
it was.
that was
Did you think you
quite
had that
the,
game the whole time? Or
I thought I did until we had the Thrun.
right, and then you
And I'm
were
like,
like,
all
oh
right.
no.
My outs are Liliana, or I can race him with a Seismic Assault if I draw it.
Did you have any seismic assaults left?
Yeah, there are 2 left in the deck.
Oh, okay. I
and
felt like
2
we saw them.
Lilianas.
I felt like we saw all the seismic assaults go by while you were dredging like
Oh, and
crazy.
there were only 12 cards left in your deck or so at the end.
Yeah, as soon as the smart decision just to draw it.
Yeah, you had like a 1 and 3 to just hit it.
Right.
Yeah, and I got 2 loans and lots of lands I can just shoot them down. So I can chump block once with that land.
Right. Once every other turn. That was crazy. That was really exciting.
Yeah.
So I tweeted your comment after the quarterfinals where you were just like, "Oh my God, did I just
qualify
fall
for the
for
Pro
the
Tour?
Pro Tour?"
Yeah,
Were you
it's
you
pretty
seemed a
sick.
little stunned. Was
Yeah.
that your reaction? I mean,
I've been like taking the whole day one game at a time.
sure.
So like when I made the top 8, it didn't even really click till I got to the quarterfinals. I'm like, wow, what's going on here? You know?
What are the implications of
Yeah.
this
What are
match?
the implications exactly?
So what do you? How do you see yourself? You're going to go to Barcelona, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
How long have you wanted to get to the Pro Tour?
Since I was 16, like, Ice Age.
Awesome.
That is about as awesome as it gets.
Yeah.
What do you? How do you think you prepare for something like that? What do you-
Well, I'll like test with the Florida boys, like I'll ask Sharfman if he wants to test,
Sure.
and John Coulier, who's just, I don't know if he's qualified, but he's just an amazing deck builder.
Yep.
An amazing deck builder, and he's responsible for like 95% of that list.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's the man, John Coulier.
We were actually mentioning his name. He was sending messages to us on Twitter while you were playing.
Yeah. He's
talking
like,
about
this
the deck.
matchup's good. I tested it.
Yeah.
But we were. It's been a long day. You just played a long match. Get a look at your Grand Prix Lincoln, Nebraska champion.
Yeah.
Anyone you want to say hello to at home before we?
First modern Grand Prix. Yeah, I'd just like to say hi to my friends in Naples, Mark, Sheridan, Griffin, Randall, Manny in Orlando, John in Bradenton. You know, you guys are great.
You don't know that they're watching or anything.
Yeah. I kept
They're
getting
glued.
text messages.
They're glued. Awesome. Well, again, congratulations.
Thanks, BDM.
Look forward to seeing you in
Congratulations,
Barcelona.
All right.
Really good
Brew
to
up
see you.
something really exciting.
We'll get there. All right, take care.
All right. Oh yeah. So we're gonna be. Are you going to Baltimore?
Next weekend?
Yeah.
Unlikely. I've
Yeah.
been traveling a lot for Magic
Yeah.
recently. So.
I'm taking a week off before going to Grand Prix Seattle in 2 weeks. But this next weekend is Grand Prix Baltimore.
Yeah.
So Rashad will be there. What's the crew for Baltimore? Rashad, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that was
we're
a long
tired.
match.
It's been a long day.
Saden Sheldon, Dane Young's going to do text coverage, and someone else, and Rashad, and yeah, it's been a long day. It's all right, don't worry about it. No stress. Nate Price. Oh man, it's gonna be a sick little squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should definitely tune in, watch that. I'll be back again in 2 weeks. I'm going to be doing Grand Prix Seattle, which I'm pretty excited about. I'll be working with Marshall Sutcliffe from Limited Resources Podcast, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be talking
Marshall's
about.
a really cool guy.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the new Dark Ascension Innistrad Limited format.
It'll be fun to commentate on that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But
I mean, it's been a great weekend here. I've had a great time.
Yeah.
You know, looking at this format, getting to see all the new decks. I'm really excited about what this means for the format, and I guess we're ready to go.
take away one deck. You're going to take away the Agrolome.
Yes.
I'm really going to look at Black White Swag as something to
Yeah.
play in this format, and certainly looking at the Tron list, it just seemed like
Extremely
super
Did
powerful.
more powerful things than
yeah,
any other deck.
yeah, and it was quicker than the aggro decks. It was a control combo deck that was just faster than the aggro decks. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Well, I'd
think
like to
that's
thank Professional Event Services for hosting this incredible event.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank GGS
the
Live
ironically named.
for I'd like to thank GGS Live for bringing you this incredible coverage all weekend.
Yeah,
and allowing us to be here.
aptly named on that finals, right?
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank you,
Yeah,
Mr.
man.
Brian David
That was
Marshall.
fun. Glad we got to
I
work
had a great
together.
time. And signing off, I'm Jacob Van Lunen for Brian David Marshall. I hope you had a good time watching us. Be well. Awesome.